This is a video about the spiral dynamics color of green. What is green all about? And what's the difference between green and the second tier colors like yellow and turquoise? Hello, this is Wake Up with a video with a talk about green, the spiral dynamics color of green, which is a very, very important color. It's a key color in the whole system of spiral dynamics because it's on the verge, on the doorstep between first and second tier. Green is the logical solution to all the problems of all the other colors of the first tier, which are beige, the color of survival, purple, the color of clan or family survival, red, the color of power, blue, the color of justice and religion and laws, and orange, the color of technology and effectivity and money. All these colors are necessary to complete a personality. No color is better or higher or lower than any other color, but because the majority of the population of this planet is centered in red, blue or orange, we are about to destroy the planet. Or at least that is how it looks like. And that is the realization of green. Green can see that this can't go on. We are all sitting in one boat, and this boat is sinking because we're drilling holes in it. The whole system is unjust and unfair. The wealth of the few is based on the suffering of the many. And thus green starts to question. Green is the first color which starts to question what is actually going on in the world. Also metaphysically, not only physically. Green is the first color of philosophy and psychology and mysticism and spirituality. But the problem with green is that people who are centered in green think this is it. This is the end of development. This is the highest form of development of the personality. Which is partly true because the personality is not all. There's much more. Personality is only a small part of reality and no part of truth. Being centered in one color means that you're 50% centered in one color and 25% in the color on the left or the previous color and 25% the color on the right or the next color, which are orange and yellow. Orange is the color of science and technology and more and more and more and more and more. And bigger, 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 newer, newer, newer. While yellow is a color of open source knowledge, of sharing everything with everyone else. No more competition. Now the rebellious green that starts World Wildlife Fund and Amnesty International and Target and Greenpeace and Save the Rainforest and 4Ocean and so on, Fridays for Future and all these associations of working together to save the planet and giving rights back to the underprivileged and to plants and animals and so on. This very, very important green has nothing to do with consciousness. It's still a part of ego development. It's about saving yourself by saving everyone. It still has something selfish about it. It's not so much about the others. It's the realization that everyone is suffering, and if I want to save myself, I need to save everyone. Only together we can save ourselves as individuals. This is called self-preservation. It's a self-preservation instinct that we have seen already in purple and blue. The realization that together we can achieve more. But the goal, the aim, is still self-preservation and the belief in a self, in a personality, in a person that actually exists. At the same time, there is an interest of spirituality. So most spiritual communities, most spiritual teachers and so on, they're centered in green. They feel that there's something more to it, but they don't know it yet. And with know it, I mean they haven't experienced it yet. Unless maybe with the help of psychedelic drugs also. The flower power movement of, for example, Timothy Leary and so on. They experimented with psychedelics and thus they move temporarily from green to yellow and turquoise. If you take LSD or DMT or whatever, you can move for a few hours towards turquoise and yellow, and afterwards you forget everything again. Or if you have a mystical experience, then bam, you're in turquoise. Again, only for a few hours or days or weeks or months, but then it's over. But many people who have a mystical experience in any color of the first tier think now they are enlightened or have seen God or whatever. That's not it. It's just a mystical experience. It's a glimpse of a part of the truth. And yet, green is indeed the gateway to consciousness. It's always termed as higher consciousness. There's no higher consciousness. There's consciousness and there's sleepiness. But it's the gateway to consciousness. It's the gateway to developing something else that has nothing to do with the personality. That is not egoic and non-dual. You can smell it. If you're centered in green, you can smell the yellow already. You can smell it, taste it, feel it, but it still seems very alien and you don't know how to get there. And you're also very afraid. And the biggest obstacle to move, to transition from green to yellow, is that you insist on injustice. That you insist that you have to save the forest or the animals or humanity or the world. You don't have to do anything while you're asleep. It's your job to wake up, and to wake up is to go towards yellow. Then maybe you can be of service to humanity or to the planet. Green is a bit like a teenager around 20. When they think they know everything and everything they've been taught by adults is wrong and unfair. Well, in actual fact, they're only trying to find their own personality, their own style. So they have to abandon everything they've been taught and they have believed before because it was only imitation. Now they find their own, choose their own essence, their own style. And that's why they have to rebel against everything else. But it's only a pendulum swinging into the other direction. And in the end, it will peter out and come to a stop in the middle. And then what you have achieved is that you have created a personality. You have created yourself, which is not more or less true than what you had before. What people centered in green actually want is turquoise. That's why I made this video, this green video, before the turquoise video, because turquoise and green are mixed up all the time in literature and videos and so on. There's a profound difference between green and turquoise, and it's very hard to see if you're still in green, which is where most people are who are interested in spiritual topics. It's not a bad place to be. It's just the place where you read about spirituality and not where you are, where you experience spirituality every moment. You dream about harmony and peace, while turquoise is harmony and peace. You hope for oneness, while turquoise is oneness. You're very good at quoting sages, while in turquoise you are a sage. Because what makes someone a sage is the experience. They don't talk anymore from theory. They don't repeat what they have heard from others. They can talk from their own experience, from their own life, from their own essence, which is in contact with everything around them. Turquoise is true community. It's truly feeling that you're in the same boat as everyone else. Not only in the same boat, that you are the same. It's all the same. All human beings are the same and all animals and plants as well. While in green, the idea of this is appealing to you. That's where you want to get. You're not there yet. Which sounds again as if turquoise would be better than green. It's not. It's just a different perspective because you're focused on your personality in green and on consciousness in turquoise. I had a friend once who was very enthusiastic about this Ho'oponopono thing, this Hawaiian kind of prayer for forgiveness. But she wasn't able to forgive. She was only fascinated by the idea that it was possible to forgive. She wanted to forgive and she wanted forgiveness. But she couldn't live the forgiveness. She was always very, very unforgiving towards people. Never forgot and forgave anything. That's the difference between green and turquoise. Green wants to forgive. It's great, wow, this whole Ho'oponopono stuff, great. But they cannot. Or another acquaintance of mine, she was a Vipassana meditation teacher. Vipassana is also something that is somewhere between turquoise and coral in its actual form. But only because you meditate in a Vipassana way doesn't mean you're in turquoise or coral. Equanimity, that's what they are talking about all the time in Vipassana, equanimity. That nothing bothers you anymore. This is a coral state of mind. You don't give a hoot about anything anymore. And this Vipassana meditation teacher, she thought she was there in equanimity. But the moment she wasn't anymore, because someone made her upset, she got extremely angry at him or her for managing to rip her out of her equanimity. Which means that she wasn't really in equanimity, in equilibrium. She only aspired to it. And she put a lot of energy and effort into it. And when someone involuntarily proved to her that she wasn't, then she got really angry at him or her. For the green mind, spirituality is a fantasy. It's a goal, it's an aim, it's a wish, it's a longing. Where the turquoise mind is immersed in it. You cannot even say he or she is there. It's just an immersion in consciousness, in harmony. It's what most people think spirituality is all about. But turquoise is also just an aspect of spirituality and consciousness. It's not the end game. It's not the final goal. So it is easy to mix up green with either yellow or turquoise, because they can imitate yellow and turquoise. But you can know people by their actions. What do they actually do in a state of crisis? For example, the recent crisis, or whole virus hype. A green person will still be afraid. He or she will still be gripped by fear like everyone else who's centered in a first tier color. Either by fear of sickness and death or by fear of conspiracy theories and injustice. An orange-centered person will try to make the most money out of it. A yellow-centered person will either also go into conspiracy theories or will try to solve the problem by finding out the truth. While turquoise, coral and teal and so on, they will not perceive that there is a problem, because they know it's all part of the divine game, of the grand illusion, of God, whatever you want to call it. All is well. It's not really a crisis. It's not really a danger. So if you were freaked out about the whole recent crisis, then probably you're centered in green or yellow. A person centered in turquoise does not think that one person is more valuable than another, or that a human being is more valuable than an animal or a plant or a virus or a bacteria or mushroom, whatever. This whole thing of injustice and unfair is green, and it's very important. It's your gateway to the second tier. Also, this whole idea of one color being higher than another or better than another, which is so often transported by many spiral dynamic books and videos, is an orange idea. If you center it in green or yellow, it will already get on your nerves. But unfortunately, many people are just repeating what they have heard from others without thinking. Being better, richer, more knowledgeable, higher, more holy, more advanced, more experienced, older, wiser, more spiritual, or whatever. These are all first-tier concepts which are very prevalent in blue and orange. Green is already starting to rebel against it, and for any other color of the second tier, it doesn't matter. If it matters at all, then anyone who's centered in a second tier color will be happy for everyone else to advance. If there is such a thing as advancement, then the best that could happen is that more and more people, as many people as possible, are advanced in a conscious sort of way. The whole idea of competition is red, blue and orange, and that's it. An orange person will stand on the top of the roof and will make sure that no one else can climb up as well. A green person says, hey, that's unfair, either you come down or we should be able to come up. And a yellow, turquoise or coral person will help you up. They want as many people on the top of the roof as possible, even more than possible. That's the difference between first and second tier, and green is the gateway to the second tier, so it's a very, very important color. It's an aspect your personality has to develop to start to grow consciousness. Okay, I hope you learned something new. Also, those of you who have studied spiral dynamics before, thank you for watching, thank you for listening. Hit the bell button to keep notified. Thank you for watching and see you soon with a turquoise video.